Hello, it's Prince Easy, and well, as usual, let's get to it. So, on today's agenda, really, I want us to make an observation. Sulfur, phosphorus, is there an increase within the reproductive organs of people who took that solution to that crisis? And of course, this whole issue of periods being scrambled also needs to be observed. Because, yeah, something is coming. That's all I can say. Well, the other agenda is for a very specific group, and I think it is self-explanatory. Okay, so let's move on. Today, really, I have a few things, but a lot. There are few, but a lot. Okay, so yeah. So last time we picked up here, right? We picked up here last time. So let's move on to today's agenda, really. And today's agenda is basically that, during my teens, I suffered a lot. I didn't know back then, but the war was on, and I was extremely in pain, right? Especially my neck area, right? It's like a knot forming at your neck area. Sometimes it's at the right, sometimes it's the left. But either way, it hurts. How does it hurt? I think most of us have experienced this. Imagine wearing a really heavy backpack for a really long time. You know that sharp pain you get in your neck? That's the exact same one. Meaning that there's a lot of pressure exerted on the nerves, right? That's the meaning of it, okay? And it creates some sort of nerves, some sort of, I don't know, no, not nerve, but a bubble of some kind, which holds a lot of pressure, okay? And this is just another one of their weapons, okay? So this is really important in these times, and I'm telling you this for a very specific reason, right? Just like I've disposed other weapons, this is also their target, the system here that you're seeing right now in front of this screen of yours. So we have seen celebrities, quote unquote, having nerve issues in their facial area. It is also connected to this nerve here, right? It's like connected to everything. So here is for those of us who are illiterate, so you can see right? And basically where they part ways is around the neck area, just like that. So they assault this system to affect the rest of the organs that you're saying. And it can even be the cause of many of these issues that we're dealing with today, because everything is just a message. It's a message. It's a message, like cancer, for instance. It's a miscommunication. But where does that signal come from? That's another question, right? So I think you get the picture. Okay, and me personally, all of these have been attacked, About, I don't know, a couple of weeks, my liver was attacked severely. I felt pain and everything. My stomach, of course. Okay, it's deeply connected, right? And of course, that is the brain, the source of the signal. And like God is in there, right? One guy made an observation. You see these two things at the bottom, those are like legs, right? And we have a person sitting, opening up their arms, right? it's just an observation he made. But again, God is an artist, so he signs his work, his handiwork. So back to the vegus. These are the important roles that it plays. We are entering very dangerous territories here, and very specific wording was used. And now if you have a flashback of the last years, to tell you the honest, I've experienced all of them. If you watch these vlogs regularly and you know my voice pattern, you can learn a lot of things. But there you are. From digestion to breathing to mood to the very immune response to speech, to taste, mucus and saliva production. This is another weaponry I talked about by itself. So it's quite important. So what if something misfires? What if something misfires within the system? This is what happens. Loss or change of voice, loss of the gag reflex, like the ability to swallow, and also the ability, I don't know how to explain the gag, If you Google it, I think you can understand. It's a reflex somewhere in your mouth and throat area. Difficult swallowing or speaking, coming back to speech, right? Slow heart rate, low blood pressure, nausea and vomiting, and abdominal pain. This is, from my experience, I could say like 60% or 50 of the weapons that they have attacked me with have targeted this system. I knew how it felt, right? But I didn't really know about this system back then, so I couldn't really phrase it properly. But the the deeper I dig into this, the darker it got for me personally. Okay, the darker it got for me personally. And as usual, I gotta put you on. Okay, so some of you have these expertise, so put them to use. You people of the nerve. Eh? People of the nerve. Specifically, this nerve here needs to be looked after and taken care of. I cannot emphasize this enough. Okay. Now, I talked about cannabis. Some of you like to call it whatever. Weed. Banke wengine. So, as I was summing up this video, something told me, Google the connection between cannabis and this system and look at the results. Now you understand the war that we are involved in. Now we understand why they are attacking this plant. And as usual, most of you thought I was like lying, saying that, I'm being allowed to use it. But of course I have to practice, not overdoing it. But it is medicine, and you don't have to burn it. There's so many ways we can consume it, but consuming it is medication for what we are facing today. That's why it was handed over to me. Yeah. So look at the results. So most people don't know this, but inside you there are cannabinoid receptors, they say. Okay, specific nerves just are waiting to be stimulated by cannabinoids, right? Now, if you research how many actual foods have cannabinoid, then you'll understand the problems that exist. Okay, and this cannabinoid is very, very powerful. It's a very powerful system. It's a very powerful system. And in the center of that system is the plant that we know as cannabis, or some of you call it banke. You wanted the science, and as usual, God provides. I cannot think of these things. I don't know enough, and I know a lot at the same time. So when I say some, it has proof for it. So for all of you that felt some type of way in the previous video about me talking about them strategically attacking a plant, that should be even illegal. It should be illegal. How can you abolish a plant, a thing that was created by the creator? How can you try to override? It's like making a certain animal illegal. That's the slippery slope of our judiciary system, my friends. It is like any other system. it is very susceptible to corruption and political influence, most importantly, and it cannot be separated because these are systems that depend on each other. So all I'm saying is people have to wake up and to stop being tools of these corporations and stop being parrots without even understanding what they're talking about. They just parrot everything they are told. People need to take responsibility. This autopilot life is not sustainable. People need to take control of their lives. Okay? They have handed over, we personally have handed over our lives to these governments, right? And the governments, most of the governments of this earth are like really corrupt and like they sell the people for profit. You know, they just say, okay, we need to fight drugs, and every time cannabis comes up, like every freaking time. It's not like the poppy flower, you know, you can't, like, poppy flower needs like processing and stuff like that, right? But like, why are they specifically attacking this specific plant? Is because of the cannabinoid receptors within your body. And trust me, the only rich plant that you can consume to stimulate this system when it is suppressed is cannabis. So you can say whatever you want to say. You can think of me how you want to think of me. But I'm just here to give you information, and which I regard as the truth for me personally. Okay? So they have written, the research has provided evidence. So the evidence exists, right? Cannabinoid receptors play a key role in influencing the activity of the vagus nerve communication with the brain. Okay, the ECS has receptors that are present in the human gut, okay, and have been shown to affect brain function directly through the vagus nerve. So these cannabinoid receptors are like everywhere in your body. And right now, for most people, these receptors are dormant. And this dormancy creates a loophole for them to, it's like a blind sight in our body's security, that they can viciously attack and without any solutions, because you cannot synthesize cannabinoids. The natural cannabinoids is the natural thing. You can't like make a fake one to trick the cannabinoid system or the cannabinoid receptors. That's where the word cannabis comes from, cannabinoid, because our fathers and mothers knew. We know, okay, this this nation is not that old, right? Some of you literally ate cannabis like food, literally like food every day, just like matembele or mchicha or they ate it. Some of them made tea with it. Maybe that's why they were healthy. But again, we went to school and we were made even stupider than when we went in. We just became like robots. And it was beaten into us to become like so. But after we know, we have to take immediate steps. After we know, we have to take immediate steps. If not, then responsibility. Sin counts like that. If you don't know, you're not really guilty. But if you know, then something changes. Just like myself, you know. When I knew how dark this world was, I couldn't look away. Some people choose to look away. Those are like the worst. So let's continue. Is CBD, what is CBD? CBD is one of the compounds within naturally occurring cannabis. Okay, so if you are smart, this will be the time to collect the seeds, the original seeds. Collect them. Okay, because these idiots have been using this blindfold also to make genetically modified. That's why they have these adverse effects, because they are playing with fire. Okay, they are playing with fire. Now imagine they have this supposedly all close to synthesized CBD within this GMO cannabis that they are selling out there. All of these countries that have quote unquote allowed cannabis, especially outside of Africa. It's a crooked system, and it's time that you figure out the weapons that are surrounding you. Okay, so in a naturally occurring plant, we do not determine the ratios of this CBD and THC within the plant. Okay, some people suggest, maybe we modify a plant that has less THC. I do not like the whole word of modify. There are many varieties. If this is not suitable for you, then pick another one. There are a lot of species of cannabis, not just sativa and indica or whatever. There are many. And these people have systematically been making GMOs, and they're making brands basically. Okay, a brand by every definition. Now, how can you make a plant a brand? Okay, you are saying that you are guaranteeing a consistency. How can you guarantee consistency? Basically, it goes up. Maybe that thing is chemically made. Then you can have control over the potency of every compound within a certain element. Look at me using big words. But you get my point. Okay, so let's go to the facts. There are jokes out there going, cannabis makes you feel three things, right? Hungry, happy, sleepy, right? We talked about the vagus nerve affecting mood, and actually the whole system of sleep is also in here. Okay, and of course, on top of that, it can reduce inflammation within the nervous system. Okay, the nervous system can be inflamed. It can be viciously attacked by made up stuff, right? It can improve digestion. Okay, trust me, there are weapons out there, man. They can lock your stomach for like weeks without going to take a number 2 or none. Nigga had to have a conversation with Jesus about it. Like, really, this happened to me. A week passed. It was going, it was about to be the second week. I don't go to the toilet. I urinate, I feel fine. And there's no pain, no nothing. And I felt it in my gut. This is not normal. This is unusual. I drink a lot of water. Okay, and this is where I found out that pawpaws, like those plants are like amazing. Okay, they're like designed to like do something to the stomach, or to the digestion system in the large and the small intestines. It works like it's incredible. Okay, so wiki na inapita, like I don't go to the toilet or none. Like I had to pray, like, Jesus, please open up this. This is ridiculous. Okay, now there are many effects of you not going to the toilet. If that stuff stays in you, it can create an environment for diseases to come up and affect other parts of the body. Okay, because in these, whatever, they're actually resources. There's energy and a lot of it. We just take what we need. okay, and they're admitting that CBD can be beneficial for people with vagus nerve disorders. I personally think it's everybody. It's everybody, right? That's why when you lay a person down and measure their legs, one leg is shorter than the other, and you can fix it by releasing the pressure within the nerves. That person literally becomes taller, in a sense. They stand up right. Most people have nerve issues. They don't stretch correctly to relieve the pressures in the back. Okay, this is why these chiropractic practices, not the YouTube, which they intend just to make a loud cracking noise with the bones or the nerves rather, but this is very real, right? Always stretch and release pressure, especially in your backbone. Going to your hips is basically just a whole system, but if they attack the nerve, the vagus nerve, then you have a problem, right? It goes on. Can it regulate? CB1 and CB2 receptors, endocannabinoid system. This is the system within your body, and these are the specific receptors of CB1 and CB2. They extend throughout the body to play a role in regulating the digestive, immune, and nervous. So you're telling me these things are not important? You're telling me these things are not important now, right? We have a problem in our hand, okay? Make pills. People eat these pills, I found this. When I was younger, I was severely attacked and I was a lot of pain, and I went to this. There's a company called Sino Hospital or something like that. It's basically providing a service of acupuncture. And I did the acupuncture thing, and it was like these people know they literally, now thinking about it, they literally inserted a pin into the nervous system. Into the nervous system. They temporarily paralyzed. I was literally paralyzed in that bed, and I couldn't move. This is how precise these Chinese niggas are, I couldn't move. I was incapacitated, like paralyzed, and what they're doing is like what these traditions that have been left here. People taking nails and driving these nails through a coconut tree to activate a immune response. So they are curing people by activating a certain reaction within the body by inserting this pin into these nerve pathways, right? A signal is sent, an immune response is sent, like a wholesale type of immune response that will get rid of everything that it finds, not just that thing that has invaded the body at that particular time. Okay, what does CBD unique, which makes CBD unique in many ways, and that it can access these receptors for multiple uses. So they are focusing on CBD. This is also a play, right? You can't have CBD and THC if the source is the same. So they are actually suggesting that we just extract that CBD. Okay, this is just like these cough syrups. They make you sleepy because the nervous system, the way it heals itself is when it's mostly not being activated by the user. So you need to sleep in order to heal. Okay, this is just a accepted medical practice. Okay, I'm not saying magical stuff here. Okay, you can read if you want to find papers, knock yourself out. Okay, And it goes on to say it can access these receptors for multiple uses. Okay, so CBD is like a key to the vagus nerve system. It controls the vagus nervous system, the cannabinoid receptors. Because remember, if you consume CBD or THC as it should with other compounds, okay, do not to take credit. There are other compounds within cannabis, many of them, okay, but the most popular are THC and CBD because it's about the war. You know, they are splitting groups into two to pit one of them. And the CBD people tell the THC people you only want to get high and stoned, and the THC people tell actually we want both things like it should be. But the CBD people are too stupid to realize that what they are consuming are actually artificial, quote unquote, receptor activators. Now that will make you sick, among other effects. Okay? AI out here is in full swing. You know, I remember I watched a documentary way back when, before this propaganda was in full swing. And actually there are companies that are using AI. Okay, this world is so broken, you know, and the broken thing is that people don't know the lie, and they're too lazy to even think about the lie, you know. These quote unquote elites do not make animations just like how people do, you know, today, by animating a specific part and part. No, does not work like that. They just use AI. It's like a shortcut. Okay, it's like a shortcut. Now look at this invention here, and believe it or not, we today have the capacity to make this exact car. How can you do it? 3D printing, three-dimensional printing. They can literally make this car out of the computer to real life. You know, so yeah, if you think the job crisis is you wait. Okay, now these things are popping up everywhere. You know, people are utilizing these tools, you know, and they want to go viral per se. But again, the parameters express the creativity of a person. How deep do they know about vehicles in order to come up with one practical thing? But you know, practicality is like not a thing anymore. It's not a thing anymore, you know. Yeah. Now look at the car industry, you know. It's full of absurd things. Yeah. When I heard the truth about this, I was like, wow. If it was their psyop, then this would be the perfect time to launch it. But again, what do they want? I don't know. For instance, if they were me, if I were them, I would do this to gather the insecurities, because people express their opinions on the grams, right? So I just be reading comments, you know, seeing which way people sway. What are their fears when it comes to a East African currency? Maybe that's the data that they wanted, maybe. So I would take it seriously, and also you have to study that data. Just go around reading comments. Just reading comments. Do nothing, say nothing. And trust me, people will express their fears and boom, you have the upper hand. But they just want you to downplay this. This was very serious. Yeah, it came out of nowhere and it hit everybody. Marekani imefadhaishwa. The United States is, I don't know, devastated by what the Ghanaians have done in regards to protecting people who have naturally occurring feelings towards the same sex. They are flabbergasted. There I go again, using big words. But anyway, love you. Prince Easy signing out. Bye.